I just want to mention Ulaf has a very nice seat. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this last official public government meeting of the Magerius administration. I welcome all citizens across the U.S.S.E, across Belarusia, Carino and all the other territories, of course. We're gonna do a small rewind on what happened in the last few terms, in the last few months, weeks, whatever. I'm gonna give you a brief geopolitical update on why, first of all, we grew so much in size, and second of all, why, what is happening with these territories, how we are gonna go about managing them in the future, and how we're gonna try to help them, of course. Also, I will be taking a lot of questions today, so if you have questions, you can ask them. This is not a very straightforward thing, so I'm not gonna just be sitting here and talking 24/7. I want us to be open, I want people to be able to ask their questions, and yeah, and generally round up my beautiful 3 General Secretary terms with this. So yeah, first of all, I'm gonna probably begin with the most pressing issue, the geopolitical questions of what is going on in the U.S.S.E right now. I just want to report today that we, in fact, as you may know, have grown with the autonomous state of Carino and with the protectorate of Valresia. And I just can explain the story behind them a bit briefly and like what happened. I'm not gonna go too much into detail because of security issues, of course. I think you can understand that. But yeah, so first of all, I would like to talk about Carino, which I'm very happy that we have. I don't know if any Carino people are here. However, the thing about Carino was basically that Sylvania was trying to go a bit ham on them. They were demanding that Carino gives up their claims and repays them an enormous amount of money, which they obviously didn't want to take. And so, what we did is we took them under our protection, and we kind of prevented that, which I think is something good and which shows as well our resistance against Sylvania and against their imperialism, which they're doing. After which, I had fucking 3 hours of Discord PvP with their leaders. It was an experience, to say the least. So, in the end, we protected Carino. We made our point clear that we're not gonna deal with people who are occupying our territories and our capital. And after that, it was basically over for Carino. And right now, we are working with them to realizing closer relations, something which I will be talking about after I gave you a briefer on the Valresia situation. And yeah, we're basically working with them to get them integrated more closer into the U.S.S.E, to get economic stuff running, to get some military alliance, like some of their soldiers into our armies, etc, etc. So, now to the more interesting situation, that is Valresia. As you might have seen, there were, if you're active in the cartography guild, we kinda re-annexed Coag first from Valresia and then gave it back to Valresia and protectorated all of Valresia, which is basically, since I, as well as I think most of our government believes, is that since the Valresians are our friends and since we believe that they deserve to live in peace and they're where they are and they deserve to be united and stand there as a regional power, basically. This is our intention, and this is why we're supporting Valresia since its founding. And what happened though is that they were threatened war once again by various nations over various very ridiculous reasons. They even declared war on our town of Savalay, or like not our town, but the capital of the Coag, which was a huge threat against the U.S.S.E, of course, because while the Coag was shown as Valresian on the map, it was still packed. So the Coag was still technically a part of the U.S.S.E, and this was a declaration of war against the U.S.S.E, basically. But in the end, we got the ops to closed their tickets, and as you may have seen, Dracul also closed their ticket against Valresia. But we knew that more conflicts were kinda coming, and that shit was gonna happen. And therefore, we pulled the move of protectorating Valresia because we think that they deserve a right to peace and that they have to prosper and they have to establish themselves without fucking getting war 24/7. Which is why I'm very happy that we are now defending that region, even though it seems like our enemies still want blood. And I will say this, but the U.S.S.E will stand together with their Valresian comrades. Whether the Ops attack or attack not, we will defend that land. And we will defend it as if it was ours. So yeah, that's basically the entire history of how these regions came to be and of how we had to protect that land from invaders. In these invasions, by the way, I just want to mention it briefly, Sylvania was both involved in. So yeah, that's basically our policy right now. However, we're not just taking these lands and trying to protect them without any intention at all of giving them something in return. I have been working, and I will draft a project up pretty soon about a new commission, the so-called Commission of Internal Affairs, which will mainly be dealing with these issues of these autonomous provinces, namely at the moment the Smoon, Carino, and Valresia, in order to guarantee that no issues come up and that we can integrate their manpower, their soldiers, and their industry into a more united front against the enemies of whoever we will face. So yeah, that's also a small thing I'm planning for like the end of the stream. And now I've talked fucking a lot. So yeah, this is basically the geopolitical briefer that I have for you. Besides that, I mean, y'all probably all have seen them, but we have made treaties with Ashai, with Ravengard, and with Valeria to we have made MDP treaties with them, and I mean, yeah, I think that's also something y'all need to learn if you don't know it already. And now I wanna come to my main part that I'm very much enjoying already, since this is something I really want to talk about. I feel like we kind of need to look back at these three terms that I had, and we kind of need to look back at what went well and what went wrong. And I think it is continuously shown how we managed to have an activity peak and then it dropped again and then we peaked again. And I believe what always caused these downturns after a high activity peak, which we have experienced in this month, is that not many events were held. I think a big issue that we were facing with like in-game activity is that there wasn't much fun stuff going on, and I kind of want to bring that back. I don't know what other government members feel in here, if they want to say something about the activity. Or like, Lead, you're like a prime example of like trying to get away from grindy Stoneworks mentality.
I guess. I don't know if I get a government position, but I won't run for DevSec or GenSec or anything else. My plan for the next term is basically to like enjoy my time here and try to get other people to have fun on here, because I think some of us are sometimes forgetting that this is still just a thing to have fun, especially when we face death war like every 2 days, so we kind of have to remind them.
Yeah, that is very true. That is very true. In the end, I think we are not just a fucking Minecraft nation on the Stonework server, but we are a community on our own. So we heavily need to focus on that, in my opinion. That's something we need to work on, and which is also a reason why I spontaneously decided to, do a public government meeting again, to like have something going on that is cool. So yeah, that's my main thing I also want to work on in the next term, and whatever government position I get, although my main focus will still be to keep y'all safe and to do diplomacy. Other issues I have currently are like just some commissions are mismanaged, not really ultra active, but that's fine. We can work on that. I think whoever becomes the next general secretary will be able to work on the commissions and get stuff going again. Yeah, and I think we will have our fair share of fresh blood in the government next term as well, which is cool. And I think many people who have served with me from the start of my term now are kind of old guard, and I think it's cool to see that a lot of government members that started with me have developed in time and whatnot.
Magerius, one little thing, please look into the in-game chat. Dev want to ask or has a question.
Okay, sure.
Before you leave.
I'm actually tapped out from the in-game. Wait a second.
It's all about the panda population.
Can
Can you please? Thanks.
How will this affect the panda population?
No.
Ah.
It's not. We should go with sides.
Which panda? Give me a panda, then I can give you a panda population.
We actually have a panda population in the U.S.S.E.
Okay, now we have a panda as well.
No.
The event bot transformed into a panda. Very nice. Let's go. Alright, yeah.
But please don't feed the panda, thanks.
Don't feed the panda with spices. I think that's a
Wait,
bad idea.
put a PowerPoint on your computer.
Please sit down again, yeah.
Yeah. Let's sit down again. But that was fun. Okay. I think besides that, I pretty much addressed all things I want to say. Besides maybe... No, I'm not doing a closing statement. So now I would probably be like going if you have any questions to the government, like you can ask literally anything.
I use Google Slides.
Check your.
I'm gonna address it. Yeah, sure, just post them into in-game, like local chat. I'll be trying to manage, or ping me on Discord. I'll try to answer everything. What if you join potential Internal Affairs Commission of Justice? The thing with the Commission of Justice on the Internal Affairs is a bit weird, because the thing, like, what I want the Internal Affairs to do is to just be a person in government you can talk to when you have any problem with the U.S.S.E. central government. And I think having a Commissioner of Justice do that, who mainly just does law shit, is not too good of an idea. Yeah, the Commissioner of Justice is pretty lacking, but it has always been the case, since it's mostly an RP thing, I think. That's also a real thing, of course. We have laws and shit, but like, it's mostly RP if you get sued.
I will maybe fix that RP card in the future.
Are we able to make a health commission? What would you need a health commission for? I mean, if you want to have free potatoes, sure. Okay, can we not start laboratum radiation? Alright, you know what? I think we can actually, if we're all gathered here, and if there aren't like any big questions left, if there are, you can ask them, of course. If not, I would just say I do a little small closing statement, and then we can all go and have a fun time drinking some fucking vodka and Nakashira. Doesn't seem to be the case, so I just wanna thank you all for coming today on this very odd weekday, of course. I also wanna thank everyone who listened to Liark's beautiful podcast, cut, whatever. And yeah, thanks a lot for the great time. I just wanna use this to officially say that I enjoyed being General Secretary of this country for 3 terms in a row now, and I'm very happy to serve y'all. And I wish the next general secretaries all the best, of course.